What's up, people? This is Carlos Green, and we are here doing a special edition podcast. I am joined here by my family members all the way in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and we wanted to get together to do this podcast because all three of us have podcasts. And so for this show, we are going to talk about each one of our podcasts and what our mission, what our vision is, and the audience that we're trying to reach. And then we're going to talk about how important it is to just have such a strong family unit. And so I just want to introduce, I'm Carlos Green. I want to introduce my family members, my beautiful, beautiful cousin here, Corey Payne.
Hey, y'all.
And then my iron sharpening iron brother here, Mr. Michael Davis.
What up?
So we want to dive right in here. So each one of us have different podcasts, and thank you all from the bottom of my heart for supporting each one of our podcasts. And we're going to talk in depth about each one of them. We're going to start with Corey's podcast. Yes. Tell us about your podcasting.
Okay, well, my podcast is called The Island Connection. And what we discuss is a lot of different situations, different topics related to relationships and what we go through in relationships. And it started from my first podcast actually started when my husband had passed away. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to start, that's what impressed me of starting the widowhood. So we started talking about widowhood, what that's like, what we're going through. And then from there, from the comments we had, which we're hoping to get comments from you guys as well, we were able to branch off and talk about prayer and all the other elements as it relates to relationships. And so not just relationships with, a man and a woman, a lot of times, that's a lot of that out there, but also relationships as far as parenting, as far as siblings, just family, everybody that you come in contact with, there's like a relationship that you can develop. Right. And so that's really what it is. In my podcast, I love to try to impact others as far as bringing people together and just learning how to love each other, accept each other for who they are, and just meet them where they are.
Okay, so I remember that first one that you did with widowhood.
Yes.
And I thought that was just going to be the one you're going to just talk about that all the time because it was so impactful.
Yes.
It was so good. There were so many people that watched that. So if you haven't seen that one called Widowhood, yes. You all did 2 parts.
We did 2 parts, but then we're coming back a year later to talk about where we are
It's
now.
almost been a year now?
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It was.
Yeah.
That was a very emotional podcast too, because each one of you all talked about your particular situations, which were all different.
Yes.
And how your husbands transitioned. Mm-hmm. But the strength of you all being widows and how you're able to rebound and survive from that was absolutely incredible. Yeah, I passed that one along to so many people, right? Everybody. Okay. So what were some of that, now that you've done your podcast and it's almost been a year now, what have you learned from doing your podcast?
So much. I can say I truly enjoy hearing people's stories. Mm-hmm. I think stories are important. And I've learned that when you hear, like you said, iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. That's literally what it is. Right. Like when you're talking to people and you get those comments and they can relate to you, I think for me that is huge. But I love hearing people's stories. I love the fact that you can let people know you're not alone. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times we don't talk about certain things because we don't want to be judged, or we don't want people saying, well, I didn't know you were feeling this way. I didn't know you were going through this, but it's real life. And so, the more you talk about it, the more it frees you, it releases you. And then you realize that someone else is going through the same thing and that we can all come together and conquer that thing.
Well, when you talked about relationships, I've seen the one that you did on widowhood. I've seen the one that you've done on divorce. I've seen the one that you've done
Divorce
on
and Thriving.
Divorce and Thriving. Yes. Okay, that's an interesting title. Yeah. I've seen the one that you've done on parenting and relationships, the one that Mr. Michael Davis and his wife Nancy did. Woo! You all
Yeah.
have to see that one.
That hit home.
I saw the one that you did on single motherhood.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was out
Yeah,
there.
Single parenting,
I've
yeah.
seen the one that you've done on prayer
Oh, yeah.
that you did.
The prayer. Yeah.
So I'll be looking at her podcast.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I know all of her episodes.
Okay.
So I just want you all to go out there and really check it out. It's called The Island Connection, right?
Yes,
Connection.
the
The
Island Connection. Yes.
What's in store for The Island Connection next?
Literally, next we have, so we ended the episode. So the last season was with Michael.
Yes.
And so now coming up, we're talking about issues based on the comments that we've received.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's neat.
And so the next one that we're doing is going to be more of the platform of the young culture and how
Whoa.
relationships are, are viewed.
Because
And
you did one with relationships.
I did.
That they were, and they have been dating for a while.
Yeah, a couple of years.
A couple of years now,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
all
And
of
that,
the
we got a
challenges.
lot of that.
A lot of
Yeah.
comments from
We
that
got
one.
a lot of from the younger culture, which was interesting because they were talking about how they don't know who is a female, who's a male, and the struggle and all of that, and then what
Yeah.
they're wanting from each other
Wow.
and the expectations. And so that's the thing. They want to see different groups come together. So our next season is going to be strictly on that, dealing with the young people and talking about relationships and how to make relationships last, what that looks like, and so
Do you have a biblical spin
absolutely
on your
yeah,
podcast?
because I believe that everything, God is love.
Come on.
So everything you discuss, if you're going to talk about relationship,
Yes,
you have to talk about God. Like,
you have to.
that's literally the center of every relationship is
Exactly.
love.
Exactly.
And God is love. So he's the creator of love. So how can you talk about relationships and leave him out of it? It
right.
doesn't work.
Mm.
It's just like three people dancing together. It doesn't work. It takes two to tango.
Wow. Well, I love that you're going to be doing that platform on these relationships because you have three beautiful daughters. Three beautiful daughters.
They are beautiful.
They are beautiful, but I think it's so appropriate for what you're going to be doing and what you're going to be talking about. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're going to be learning a lot
Yeah.
as you interview all of these persons that are in that particular age segment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
What do they think about your podcast?
You know what? They like it.
They're like good. They like Mama
it.
Podcast.
They do. As a matter of fact, one of my
Jump on.
daughter is going to be in.
What?
She
what I was
she
thinking.
signed up because literally we're talking about family.
Yes.
Right.
The cousins have formed their own kind of unity.
I
Yeah,
heard about
yeah.
that.
And so I told them, I was like, hey, I gotta get y'all on. And they were like, sign me up, my nephews, and they want to do it because they want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
My nephews talk to me all the time about wanting to be in a relationship. And they said because, they want to make sure that it's done right.
Mm.
Because they know so many in our family don't have those long-term relationships.
Right.
And so they want to do it right. So they're like, I'm just trying to check myself first. Make
Yeah,
sure I'm
yeah,
doing-
yeah, yeah.
make sure
Right?
I'm doing good,
Right.
and then we go from there. So yeah, I think it's great that they're going to be open and willing to just say, hey, I own this. I messed this up. This is the challenge I need to, try to do, or this is the change I need to make before I come into a serious relationship with somebody.
And that's almost like a testament to your podcast that they're even willing to
Yeah,
make that announcement 1st to
Mhm.
say, hey, I want to get this thing right.
yeah.
So let me go ahead and get this out there
Yeah.
and be prepared
Yeah.
for
And
what's
they
coming.
and they see you guys. Like they
Wow.
look
Yeah.
at family members who have been married long
Okay.
and they say, I want that.
Right.
So I mean, it says a lot to, not only it's people that you don't even think that's looking at
Mhm,
guys.
that you're impacting.
You're right.
They
You're
watching
right.
y'all,
Yeah, yeah.
and the fact that they're family, and I think sometimes they get a little afraid because I know one of my nephews was like, "Nah, I can't talk to him about," and I was like, "You should talk to them about relationships and what that's like," because I was like,
Exactly.
"They
That's
were
what we're
where
doing.
they were where y'all were at that
Yeah,
age,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they can relate more."
Right.
And I
Right.
think that they feel like you guys have accomplished a lot, and you have. But it doesn't take away the fact that you can't still meet them
Right.
where they are
Right,
and talk
right.
with them through.
Most definitely.
And I also think too that people look at where we are today
Right.
and don't know the journey
That's a
that
journey.
we've had to go through to
Yeah.
get where we are.
Mhm.
And we can help to alleviate some of those stumbling blocks or challenges that they actually may face.
Right.
So I welcome anyone coming to me
You
to
do.
talk through those relationships.
Mhm.
But I tell you, my iron sharpening iron brother over here, that's what he deals with.
Listen.
Man.
Especially in that culture.
Yeah.
That's what you do, right?
Right,
So
right.
I definitely want to get to you. I want to close with the Island Connection, right?
Mhm.
So when does your podcast actually come out? Is there a routine or rhythm?
Yeah, it's every week. The reels come out like the first part of the week,
Mhm.
and then around Wednesday or Thursday
The
is the
episode.
actual episodes.
And where can we
Yeah.
catch those at again?
Yes.
When?
Where?
Oh, where? On the Island Connection on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Go to YouTube.
Go to
on the
YouTube,
Island
the Island
Connection,
Connection.
right there, and you'll see it all.
Yo, please
Yeah.
go out and
Yeah.
support
Check it out,
our
check it
beautiful
out.
cousin because she is killing it right now. She is rocking it now. And so now for my iron sharpening iron brother, Mr. Michael Davis. Man, you got to hear his brand. You got to hear his story. I've been on the phone with this guy. I don't know how many hours. He should be paying me
Man.
for the number of hours that we talk.
Family is free.
That's
Family is
right.
free.
That's what the episode,
Family is
right?
free. Family is free. But I love what you're doing because it's so
Yes.
impactful, and especially in the society in which we live now, there's just so much confusion, and
Absolutely.
it seems so oppressive just being in that stage at this point because life be lifing
Man.
for these
real.
teenagers
All the time.
all the time. So talk about your podcast and your impetus or your motivation for doing it.
Yeah, so I do what's called the Front Porch Conversations, and I'm just want to just talk to people. Like, just one of the things I find out is like people feel like they go through this thing by themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I talk to hundreds of parents all the time, and parents be like, I don't really want to say nothing. I'm like, no, say it.
Say it,
Yeah,
right,
say it. 'Cause
right.
trust me, whatever you're going through, I've gone through it, and whatever I've gone through, you've gone through. So the front porch is just like, we just outside, we on the front porch, we just chilling, maybe drinking some tea, eating some ice cream,
It's
some
good.
some nuts or something, and we just chilling and we just talking
Yeah.
for real. Everybody's a front porch prophet. That's what I call people, because people think they know everything. So if you know everything,
good.
let's talk about everything.
Wow.
That's
And
good.
what I feel is that parents are surely ashamed sometimes of their kids, how their kids have turned out. Like, we all have these expectations of our children.
That's right.
And then when they don't turn out the way we want them to turn out, we blame ourselves.
Yeah.
And I just want parents to know that it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It is not your fault. Kids are kids.
They
Gonna
are.
do their thing. Like we
Yeah.
did our thing.
We
Yeah.
did do our
We
thing.
did our thing,
Shout out to our mom.
Man, shout out. Woo,
Cause
woo.
I'm telling you. All right.
Because, I tell my wife all the time, like, I'm sure our parents was not thrilled at us getting married at 20 and 21. Like, I'm sure they was upset.
Like, what are you doing?
Man, like, you just throwing away your whole life.
You gonna thank me later.
I told you.
I told you so.
I told you.
I don't want to say it, but I told you so. And so the motivation came, working down there with the juvenile detention center, working with a lot of those kids, and a lot of those kids, they have a heart of wanting to do right.
Mm-hmm.
They really
Wow.
do. They have a heart of wanting to do right. But I think what I found out is a lot of those kids don't have a direction. Because maybe their parents didn't do right in life, and so now the parents feel like they can't give their child direction.
Yeah.
So then who gives it to them?
That's right.
Just like when we grew up, social media, TV, music, videos,
All of that.
movies, all that
Yes.
stuff. But now, social media is in the palm of
Your
their
hand,
hand.
right?
And one of the greatest things is that they don't have to ask their parents no more. They can ask Siri. They can ask Google.
Wow.
They can ask AI.
AI.
And they will give them that
And they would
secular
give
version.
it, exactly. They would not
That
give
worldly
them
version.
I would say a godly advice.
Mhm.
So when I'm on the front porch, I want to ask questions. So what I do is that I put out these questions in hopes that parents would answer them. And I'd be like, don't be afraid. Like, I just want to hear what you went through, because whatever you went through could help somebody else to know that, you know, I'm not here alone. I'm doing this.
So for point of clarification then, because you work with a lot of youth in their challenging situations and helping them to thrive, but you're really speaking with parents to try to equip them on how to best raise their children. And you're also making sure that they feel safe and brave to be able to talk about some of those challenging situations that they're dealing with regarding their children, correct?
Exactly. You know, I always say it's like this. It's like it's 50-50. It's like a sandwich, two sides to a sandwich. You know, I try to tell young people, you have a role in your house. Just because you're a teenager does not mean you don't have a role.
Come on.
You have a role, and parents have a role. Both of y'all have to play the role. If you don't play your role, then it throws off the parent. If the parent don't play their role, it throws you off. Because it's no different than you have expectations out of me as a parent. If I don't pay bills, if I don't put food on the table, if I don't buy you clothes, if I don't, you get mad.
You be like, "What's up, Dad?"
So when you're not keeping your grades up, not going to school, not cleaning your room, you're not doing your role either. 50-50.
Everybody has a role.
Everybody has a role.
Yeah.
And so when you all doing your thing, you know, you're messing up the order of the house. And parents nowadays are scared of their kids.
Yeah.
Why are we scared of our kids?
I can attest to
But
that. I
really?
really can.
Why you
Literally,
say that?
like you open me up to so much on the podcast when you talk about, you know, just being a parent. It's like, don't apologize or don't feel bad because you feel like your child. But I think we just not equipped, like you said, and there's a huge disconnect. And parents, I think we try so much to try to connect with our kids, and then they just kind of like cut us off. And we're trying to figure out like what we do. So then we try to be their friend. That doesn't help. And then it's like you put your foot down, but then you can't accept the rejection that they give us. And it's like, you know, we had you, we birthed you, we love you, we put all this investment in you.
That's right.
And it's like you turn around.
This is what you do.
That's
what you give me back.
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing now.
And then we take it and we internalize it. And then when you told me, like, you know, don't apologize for that. Like, it's okay.
Don't apologize for being a mom.
Yes.
Don't.
Literally. And he was like, he said that. And the other thing that freed me, but he was talking about, like, when we talked about how the kids, when they go to school and they go upstairs and they have this whole nother relationship with their phones and no longer with their parents.
That's right.
And then they come down like, I just don't understand you. And it's like, you don't understand us because you had a relationship up there versus being down here to have a relationship with your family.
So it is actually crazy just how some of the kids, if their phones either are not working or they get taken away, their whole demeanor changes, right? I mean, they become another person. I mean, their heads completely spin around, and be like,
Exorcist, baby, all day long.
All day long.
But what I found too, though, is that they'll start having conversations.
Yes.
Because they understand now, like, I can't talk.
It's a detoxing.
It is.
It's really a detoxing.
That's
When
exactly
they don't
what it
have
is.
it, right?
Yeah,
It is.
That's exactly what it is.
It is.
Okay, so talk. So you do the porch. I'm sorry.
Front porch.
The front porch conversations that you do, but you also do what we call the 11th hour.
Yes.
Can you speak to the 11th hour?
Yeah. So the 11th hour is a program that I created. Well, God gave it to me, so I just wrote it. The thought is that young people are in their 11th hour. You know, we always say, you know, they're at-risk youth. And we say, I mean, I really hate that because all of us are at risk of something.
We are.
Yeah.
You know, I went to my doctor and he told me, you know, you keep on eating them jam sandwiches.
That's what you gonna be.
You at risk.
at risk.
I'm like, man, so I feel like when kids hear they're at risk, it's already a negative tone for their life. So I'm like, they're just trying to make the right decision. So, you know, in that 11th hour, should I go left or should I go right? So I want to
That's
teach
good.
them that if I can help you understand your life, you'll know which direction to go.
Wow.
So that starts with learning how to break some things in your life, learning how to make some changes. So in your 11th hour, you'll know what decision to make.
That's so
You know,
good.
so that process does take a while. And it came through a lot of conversations with young people who are locked up, who have who have committed some serious crimes,
Wow.
and just having conversations with them. One of the biggest things, man, is just parents. I really try to tell parents, man, just talk to your kids.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
talk to them,
And
because
you
a lot
also
of
say
times
you have to learn your child.
you do. You have to
You
learn
tell
them.
them that,
You
yeah.
got every child is not the same.
That's right.
You know, I have 3, and man, it's like juggling all of that. Man, it's
They
like,
are different, but you have some amazing
but
kids.
I mean, it's
Man,
like you gotta
kids.
learn how to
Beautiful.
speak, their language, what helps them, because we all have kids. One you can yell at,
Yeah.
and that joker straighten up. One
Yeah.
of them you have to put the whip on him, and then one of them you just look at. So you have to understand.
Mhm.
And so in that 11th hour, that's kind of what I want to try to achieve. But I still, at the end of the day, even with that, it's like really saying families is 50-50. Like it's both of us. It's not, because I hear parents say, I need you to fix my child for me. Oh yeah, really? I do? Okay.
Really?
Well, I'm
Do
gonna
you even
fix-
say
I'm-
that?
Yeah, I'm like, I said, I will fix your child through you.
Wow.
Wow, oh, that's good.
They don't like that.
Yeah.
Because
What
they
you
have to
mean?
they have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the
They have to
challenge for
put
them.
in the
They have to
work.
put in the work.
And then here's the thing. So many years have actually passed of that dysfunctional
Right.
relationship happening. And now you say, no, now you need to put in the work. And when you have to put in the work, you've got to undo
Gotta undo
a lot
all
of
of
what's
that.
already been done or the
That's right.
freedom
Wow.
that they've been given. So it's harder
It is.
because I think the children feel like, well, I have authority. You've been letting me do this,
That's
and
right.
all of a sudden you want to flip the switch now? We're not doing that. And so now the parents are like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do I walk that route and still have a good relationship
Exactly.
Yeah.
with my child,
Yeah.
but still assume the position of parent?
Yeah.
Right.
And how do you do that?
Well, I try to teach the parents that, don't be the thumb, but be the hand.
Oh,
Well,
We just-
so-
come on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a
you
word.
gotta
That's
go
a
deeper
word.
in that one.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah. I
Don't
don't
be
have
the
options.
dog,
Be the thumb, pushing down.
but be the
Be the
hand.
hand to help them. And I think as parents, we just want to be the thumb. I'm the parent. I'm the mama. You do what I tell
Wow.
you to do. You listen to me. Okay, well, how's that
So
working
that
for
word,
you?
right.
That ain't
Wow.
working.
Exactly.
How do you help them through life? How do you lead them and guide them with love?
Yes.
With
With love.
also understanding that I am mama, but I'm mama with love.
Yeah.
And these are my rules, and this is how we're gonna walk through this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't want to listen to me, that's a different story. Now, that's a
Because
different
you say
story.
you still have to stand your
You
ground.
still
as
have to
parents.
say, no
Yeah.
is no.
Right.
And if you don't agree with me, that's fine.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna be here, this is how we do this. I'm here to love you, and that's when it comes back to talking to your kids
Yeah.
Mhm.
and not
Yeah.
demanding things from the kids.
Yeah.
So with that process, I know oftentimes parents would say, yes, let's go, let's do this. But then there has to be a level of consistency
Exactly.
that happens, right? You can't just do it for 2 weeks
Right.
and thinking that everything is going to change
Right.
and everybody's going to Disneyland.
Mm.
That's
But
not
you know
going
what?
to happen.
That's
That's
funny
right.
that you're saying
Right.
that because
Yeah.
it's like every relationship.
It's it's
Every
a
relationship
relationship.
is like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you have to fix more of yourself before
Wow.
you can fix that other person.
And I
Yeah.
think parents don't understand that. Like sometimes you need to
You
fix
need to
it.
fix it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You need to, because if they're living at home with you, everything comes through you.
It
Yeah.
does.
Right? If
just
you're the
through-
head of the house, this is your house.
Mhm.
Okay, then everything comes through you.
Mhm.
So that means a lot of things, not everything,
Mhm.
but a lot of things that they're doing is coming through this
Yeah.
relationship.
Right.
And if your relationship ain't working, yes, parents, let's just start this thing over.
Yeah.
And I love what you said. It's like it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. It's the long
Yeah.
game.
And
Yeah.
I had to say, man, my mama, she be doing it. I said, dude, just because you do good for 2 days.
If you make it to 2 days.
If you wait 2 days, don't mean your mama miraculously gonna be this different woman. she needs time.
Yeah.
Right.
She needs time to heal from all the stuff that you done.
Wow.
And then she needs to start playing all this stuff back. And you need to give her time to heal. You can't put her on a timetable and say, you need to be ready, mama, in 3 weeks, because in 3 weeks I'm going to be back.
Who puts their parents on a timetable?
Me.
now?
You, hey.
Wow.
You relationship. Girl,
That's
if you
it.
ain't get it together by me and you done.
60 days. Yeah.
90 days, you better get it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's just what I love to do. I love when young people finally figured out, like, man, I can really have a relationship with my parents. But
Yeah.
there's some work I have to do too.
Mhm.
Right.
I can't put all the blame on my
Right.
parents. I have to take accountability. So number one, accountability.
That's
He opened my eyes
huge.
on that one.
That is
yeah.
huge.
Because I owned it. And when he was talking to me, and I was like, wow. I literally saw, like, these are the mistakes that I made along the way.
Right.
Because when he was saying, like, you know, each child is different.
Yes.
And for me, like, I just treat them all the same.
Mhm.
And that was the wrong way to go because I didn't give them what they needed at that time. But that helped me a lot.
Wow.
Like, I learned so much from that podcast. And I wasn't even expecting that from you. But I was like,
Hey,
man,
what
the
do you mean?
gift that you have.
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know you were that
God
deep.
actually talked to this man. He actually got something
I
going.
didn't
Like,
even
they
lose
have
from that.
conversations. But yeah, no, but yeah. And
Okay,
and then with you, like, you'll call and you'll check in every once in a
do,
while, and,
yeah.
and it's like, wow, you know. And for a minute, I thought, okay, he's just being nosy. But then it's like, no, seriously.
You think I'll be nosy?
Yeah,
Good
well,
nosy.
yeah, it's good family. No,
Family.
yeah, it is. It's good, but it's like you keep the connection going,
Yeah.
and you always let people know, like, I see you, and I just want to reach out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though it's like maybe 2 minutes. But it's like, hey, how you doing? You good? We good?
Yeah.
Okay, everything's good. How's your kids? How's your parents? All of that. You good? Okay. Talk to you soon. I mean, that's what you do,
Yeah.
and you are very relational.
And it may
all
take
the
2
way
weeks
around.
to get him to do it.
Yeah.
But he'll do it.
Now you can't call him.
That's right. You can't call him.
But when he calls you, you gotta pick up. Cause he'll be like, pick up the
That's
phone.
it.
I'm calling you.
Or you get a text about this.
Yes. Yes.
Explaining why I ain't
Why?
called.
Right. Why?
Because we're at the Bahamas on the tennis
Okay.
court doing a podcast.
Okay. Flying out of planes. On Timeless Tuesdays.
But we on the horse
Okay.
ranch.
Okay.
They are just okay. This is going way left, guys. Way left. We're talking
not
about
wise.
we're talking
We
about
have to
front
do stuff
porch
ourselves.
We do
We
communication.
don't travel yet.
See,
And
mine's
the
on the
11th
front
hour.
porch.
Right.
We're talking about
Mine
front
ain't on
porch
everybody's
community.
porch.
Mine in the kitchen. Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, y'all, please stick with us because this is some good information that I'm getting from my iron sharpening iron brother here,
Okay,
Michael.
I do want to close with this one thing though.
Please.
My daughter, we were riding in the car together one day, and I tell her all the time, I said, this is one of the greatest lessons that she ever taught me. It was like, we was riding in the car together, and we were just having conversation, we just talking, and she was like, Dad, you know what? You've been my age before, so you know what I'm going through, you know some things that I'm dealing with. She said, but I've never been a parent, so I don't understand what you're dealing with. I was like,
Woo!
hey, that's kind of deep, you know.
That's
And I said, but here's what I
powerful.
want to say to that though. Then you should trust me because I've been there.
Mm.
So you should trust me that I'm not saying anything to hurt you or harm you. I'm saying
Yeah.
stuff to help you
Yeah.
because I've been there.
Yeah.
So now you just have to trust me. I said, now what you said was awesome. Like that makes a lot of sense. Because you don't understand the frustrations we go through as parents and what we deal with as parents and all the obligations we have. So you don't know that, but you just have to trust me that as
So
your
good.
parent, that I'm doing things for you, not against you. Once again, I'm not the thumb. I'm the hand. I'm not pressing you. I'm trying to get you there.
Yeah.
So and then love looks different. I could go on and on because love looks different because when they're younger, love looks like love. You know, helping you, catching you from falling off the couch, keeping your hand out of the stove, keeping you out. That you're like, my mama loves me. But now my love looks like discipline. Because now when I say, hey, get off that phone. Don't go to that party. Don't do this. Don't. Oh, you trying to run me? Oh, well, wait a minute. That used to be love, right?
Wow.
Now it's not love. It's discipline. So now they look at the love differently. I mean, I could go on. So we just kind of have to help them understand that I love you. That's why I don't want you going to the party.
That's why I want you to be in by curfew.
Yes, because same reason why I don't want you running out in the middle of the street, because I love you, because I
love
don't want you to get hit
you.
by the car.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want you to be on the phone 8 hours a day.
Exactly, because
I'm protecting you. I love you.
It's not discipline.
I feel like kids and parents need to be on sofas like at your house. I do. I
Right?
really do. Because I was like, you pour so much gym into parents, and it's not just helping kids understand, but it's helping parents understand as
Right.
well. I think that's amazing.
Okay, so tell us, when do these episodes drop for you?
So on Monday mornings they drop, so you can catch them on Facebook and the YouTube. The Michael Davis is the YouTube.
The Michael
The
Davis.
Michael Davis, all one word. The Michael Davis, and I try to drop them every Monday with a question. And I really want to hear people talk back. I really do.
That's
I
good.
love to hear people and share their comments. And so, and we've been getting some pretty good feedback.
That's
You know,
good.
we get
Yeah.
some people say,
Awesome.
"Man, this is awesome. I'm glad somebody's finally doing it," because you know I run into parents all the time.
All the time.
All the time. In the store, at the ball game,
Yeah.
at church, in the movie. It don't matter where I go. People like, man, I'm just saying, you be talking about some crazy stuff. Like, yeah, we all.
Real life.
They just hear your voice. but
Yes.
They're also
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
the crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just brave enough to talk about
Right.
it
Yeah.
and put it out there.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind
I
talking
love
about
that.
it.
And it ain't at your home either, so you can freely talk. 'Cause you ain't physically dealing with nothing.
So what's next for you then?
So what I really want to do is I really want to try to branch out more and talk to more teenagers and parents, like you were saying, teenagers and parents on the porch.
Yeah.
Like, because I think a lot of teenagers don't really have a voice. You know, they really don't get to speak what their hearts are really going through and the struggles that they go through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2024. I mean, we're going into 2025.
That's right.
And, you know, times are different and they're dealing with a whole lot more. So that means they need more outlets.
Right.
You know, and we can shun social media as much as we want. It ain't going
It ain't going nowhere. It's just getting
progressive.
it
It's
even
getting
more.
big.
Right.
So
There's
we
more
need to-
platforms that
That's
are
right.
being
We just
developed.
need to use it to reach more, you know, young people. So I want to do that, sit on more front porches. I really want to do more classes. You know, I
That's
really want to
needed.
host more classes. And then when those classes are done, I would love for those young people to go out and start teaching those classes.
Got it.
You know,
That's
so now they're
awesome.
actually
That
teaching
gives
them
them
that.
voice then
Yes.
and authority.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So I really
They have
want
a
to connect with like
foundation.
DCS and
Yeah.
you know organizations that deal with children that are deal with those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I just want parents to be free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot,
really
especially when you talk about single parents.
Yes.
That's when, and also when you're talking about parents that may not be where they need to be
Yes.
financially,
Right.
and so they have to struggle
Yes.
sometimes financially and
Yeah.
parent at the same time.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's
Right.
huge. It's huge.
Stressful.
Because we grew up a single mom. I did. You know,
Mhm.
single mom, and she wasn't at the house. So I
Right.
was plenty of room.
Latchkey. Latchkey
You
kid.
know, I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
But I think during that era it was different too.
It was different.
Yeah, it was.
It was totally different. And then when you are a single parent, I know you talked about it a little bit. When you are a single parent, you may have to be a little more thummy because you are a single parent, but you still got to be that hand too.
That's
You know,
right.
You can't just
Right.
be the thumb,
That,
but you got to be the hand too.
I love
Yeah,
that
so-
analogy.
Man, I do too.
I love that.
I really
Not the
like
thumb,
that.
but the hand.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So good.
All right, so where can they find you again? Last
Facebook, The Michael Davis. The Michael Davis. You can find me on Facebook.
Please,
The
y'all,
Front Porch Conversation. Man, love you.
go out there.
Porch.
He just be dropping so many
Tell
nuggets,
you.
so many gems
Yeah.
with those conversations that he having, and they're real, true, authentic conversations that
Real,
he's having.
real. Yeah.
So talk back to him. Right?
Time is Tuesday. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready. later on a Tuesday.
I tell you, so we've actually talked to both of my cousins
Yes.
here about their
Yeah.
podcast. So my wife and I have been doing a podcast now for several years now.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
it's been like 3 years now, 4 years now that we've been
Wow,
doing
didn't
it.
that seem like
Well, we've been in the ministry for longer than that.
Okay.
We've been in the ministry for like 15 years or better. But just doing the podcast, it's been about straight podcasting like maybe 3 to 4 years now. That's right. It has been longer than that.
Yeah, it has been.
It
I
has
was
been.
like, huh?
Yes, since like 2020. Yeah, because we really launched it back then.
Yeah.
And so our mission, we're with Power Couples Rock, and our mission is to actually move
Y'all need to get a
marriages.
theme song.
Man, I'm
Y'all
telling
do.
you.
Y'all do
We need a
If
theme
I could
song.
sing, I would.
You would do it, Power
Yeah.
Couples Rock. We have to think about the theme song.
Yeah, think about that, man.
But we're excited because we're just seeing so much growth and opportunity in the area that we work in. We deal with relationships and marriages, and we try to move relationships and marriages from messy to masterful. And we just have several different ways. Hey, y'all like that?
Yeah.
Messy to masterful.
Your wife had to come up with that
She
one.
did. She did.
She created
Shout out to
right.
my wife,
Okay,
Catherine.
okay, all right.
We're coming out with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So it's
Yeah.
good. So we've been married now for 33 years, which is really close to you guys, because
Yeah.
y'all are at 35 years. They're at 35. I'm at 33 because they got married 2 years before I did. I remember you getting married over at First Baptist.
Man.
Yes, I love that.
My little bow tie.
Exactly. That's family.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been that long,
Blessing.
okay?
Blessing.
So we've been married that long, but we started this because we had celebrated our 10th year wedding anniversary, and we did a retreat for our 10th year wedding anniversary to celebrate just what God has done for us. And we had 25 couples to come and participate in that retreat. And we had speakers, we did guests, we gave away prizes, we had
cool.
games.
Cool.
Yeah, we did all of that. And after we did it, the pastor that we were under at that time said that I want to commission you all to go out and do that. And that was the birth
Okay.
of our ministry at that point. And we really try to just make sure that these couples really understand 3 things. One is understand their covenant and what that means. When people sign up for marriage, they may not understand what they're really signing up for. They think it's about themselves when it's much bigger than that. And they have a promise or a vow that they're actually making before God, before the minister, and before the witnesses there, that they will be together to death do us part, and understanding what that covenant truly represents. And it represents Christ and his church, and God and his pursuit of Israel. And it's a model for our children as well, and what
For
that looks
sure,
like.
for
So
sure.
understanding that covenant. Then second is the connection that they have, that in that continual investment into each other. Because I don't like it when couples say we just grew apart.
Ooh, I hate that.
Or
I
that,
understand
you know, they've got different interests now, so I don't know if we can really be together. But if you're intentional about making your marriage work,
right.
then you won't grow apart.
That's right.
Yes.
So how do we do that? And we give them different pathways that they can continue that connection. And then the last piece is community. We always feel like that you gotta have a community of couples around you where iron is sharpening iron, so that you don't feel like that you're on an island
Right.
all by yourself,
Yeah.
going through some of these challenging situations as a married couple or in a relationship. You can do it God's way, and you've got a community that not only supports you, but also says, you know what, I'm dealing with the same thing, whether it be health, fitness, finance, you know, all
Intimacy.
children, intimacy,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
You don't get married for sex.
You
I just
Really?
want to put that out there.
What?
So true. That is so
That ain't
true.
happening every night.
Yeah.
No. That's the move.
It's gotta be some form. But that-
And ain't no music playing
Okay.
unless I'm pressing on my phone. Then that music will start playing. But that's it. Okay. Oh my, is this what this is? Okay. Thank you, Jesus. That's good.
Hey, them 20 minutes.
Oh, it's 20?
It ain't. That ain't funny.
I was like, okay, wifey.
Oh my! I'll give you a good 5 to 7. I'm good.
Mostly it ain't foreplay.
So that's part of that connection. That's
Okay,
so
I'm
important.
sorry.
I know. We're reeling it back in. Stay with us, people.
We're just playing.
Stay with
Okay.
us. No, I'm serious about my 5 to 7. Okay, but
Pray for his strength for the Lord.
okay. Let me reel it back in. So we're doing this, so you can find us on not only on our podcast, but you can go to our website as well, powercouplesrock.com.
Ooh,
We've got a website, yes.
They do.
So there's a lot of products.
Products too.
There's products and services out there that people can look at, because we definitely want to make sure that people are living the abundant life that Christ has promised them in their marriages.
Yes.
And how can we make sure that happens? And we actually take couples who are just dating, and we also take couples we do premarital counseling, and we actually marry them. And then we'll actually take couples that are going through challenging situations, and then we do group cohorts as well. And it's just been wonderful to kind of see the transformation that actually happens when couples feel like that they're in a safe and a brave space.
Yeah.
That now they can truly be transparent about the issues that they're dealing
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
And we will walk alongside of them just to make sure that they're getting the support and the resources that they need.
That's awesome.
And so for me, that is so important, because if my marriage is doing well, then that's going to help my children. Then that's going to help my church. That's going to help my community,
Yeah.
right? It's going to help my family, my extended family,
Yes.
if my marriage is going well.
Yes.
And I oftentimes have to just tell my wife and to tell people that are in our circle, if we hear some devastating news about a particular couple, I have to just say, we good. We are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just that reassurance that we are good, and I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Right.
So, and that's important, to just have that level of confidence and assurance that we are in it till death do us part.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So where'd the concept of the Timeless Tuesdays? Where'd that come in?
So we wanted to do something that would be consistent and disciplined and be inspirational and motivational for couples and for people that are in relationships. So we're always just doing like a minute of that, just so that you can get a dose of it. And definitely wanted to do it on a consistent basis every Tuesday to make that happen.
Okay.
And so so I like it because now people, they just walk up to us and just say, "It's Timeless Tuesday," like y'all did.
Yeah.
That means it's working.
We
That's right.
did that.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did.
We did.
That means it's working,
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
probably get that more than anything at this point.
That's
and
cool.
now some people don't know, when we do our Timeless Tuesdays, our next iteration is like, people don't know where we're going to show up. They don't know.
That is true.
That's like
Yeah.
where. Okay, you all seen us with a horse one time. Like, yeah, we were there.
Next
You
they're
seen us
gonna
in
be
the
off the
woods.
parachute.
They're in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
They're gonna be in
Outside.
Alaska next
They gonna
week.
be in
Yeah.
the jungle.
Yeah.
Like, what?
But here's the reason why we do that. We do that because we feel like that marriage is an adventure.
That is so true.
It's an
It
adventure,
is.
and so
Mhm.
let's live it on 10.
Yes.
Let's go all
Y'all are
in.
definitely on 10.
Y'all
All right.
Yes.
10K.
Like, what are they doing?
So
there?
it's so good to have that. But
Yeah,
we want
right.
we want all couples, and I think for us, I'll close with this. Two things that are very important for us. One is that we named our home, right? The name of our home is called the Covenant Home.
Okay.
Because we wanted to just
All
make
right.
sure that one is that we've dedicated this house back to God, and then for us, it reminds us of the covenant that we took over 33 years ago. And then the third one is anyone that comes into our home, we want them to feel like that they are part of our family, they're part of this covenant, and that they feel comfortable and in a safe and a brave space. So we've named our home that. The second is the brand that we always try to portray is that of joy. We want to spread joy. So when I'm with you, we hope that after we have been with you, you feel better. You're much better off. You know, we've done the work just to make sure that you feel valued, you feel seen, you feel heard in that space, whatever we're dealing with, or if we're just coming to have a party, having a great time, we want to be able to spread that joy. So that's
good.
Our branding.
And I feel that too.
I do.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
No, I feel it. Because I know when we do family get-togethers and things like that, you guys are always there, you know, bringing in the
that energy. Energy all day.
I think
sometimes it's
overbearing.
Sometimes it's over the top.
Yes, because I'm like, Timeless Tuesday. Like, why not Timeless Friday? Because everybody is excited on Friday because it's the weekend we ain't got to work. But the Timeless Tuesday, it's like, okay, y'all bring that energy all day. So it was like, this is Tuesday. But we got to get up and go to work. And then we see y'all. We're like, okay, Timeless Tuesday. Let me get up and get ready.
That should be an alarm clock.
I'm telling you. I'm going to my daughter.
Time is TV.
Okay, they've gone off the rail, people.
Y'all can really be DJs on the radio.
Yeah. It's good. But we love what we're doing, and so now we're actually walking into 2025 with some new initiatives that we're working on, which is very exciting for us. One of the things that we've been doing is that we are part of a theater group now. Yeah, out of Philadelphia, where this couple, they're doctors in this relationship space, and they actually will talk to the audience about relationships. And some may be talking about mental health, and some may be talking about intimacy issues. And then what me and my wife do, along with two other actors, we actually act out those scenes.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's been really good to just kind of add a different dimension.
Yeah,
So it allows us to. We don't be fighting.
I'm just saying.
We don't be fighting.
I don't mean like
some
fight.
people,
but we do have disagreements.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There are disagreements that we do have in there that they can get pretty intense.
That's what I want.
And then how do we actually resolve those issues? And it's been pretty effective and pretty transformational. That's pretty cool.
Real life situations.
That we're dealing with and putting it on.
But the different dynamics. Because you know, some people just can't hear just the talking. So they need the movement. They need the different.
They do.
So
the learning from individual learning. Which has been really good. So that's one initiative.
And I think one of the things that's kind of cool with all three of us, just in the conversations that a lot of this stuff is just what people don't want to talk about.
Right.
That we're trying to bring out of people.
Correct.
Couples don't want to talk about the intimacy issues, the money issues, the getting along. You know, one of the things you said is like, how do you grow apart?
Yes.
Well, you grow apart because just like with our teenagers, you go in this room, you go in that room.
That's right.
That's how you start growing apart as a couple.
It is.
We don't want to talk about that, you know, and then the things that you're dealing with, you know, bring up those conversations, you know, especially as a widow or if you lost a loved one, you know, that's why I also love, you know, the grief share. Because, you know, you really talk about those things like, man, every time I smell burnt popcorn.
Yeah, it's a trigger.
We talk about those things, you know. So that's what I love about the fact that we're just really trying to bring out things that people don't want to talk about.
Well, I absolutely love, and I know we're going to be closing up here soon, but I love that all three of us, we're related, we're family members, and we're doing something positive to put it out in the atmosphere. And we're taking a little bit of a different twist, but we're all pointing it back to Christ.
And the goal is the same.
And the goal is the same. It really is.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love. So I love it. So we'll close here. We wanted to talk about family, and then we'll close it out. So you just talk about family. What does it mean to you guys? What does that look like? Because, I mean, we grew up together, like, in the same church. We remember we were doing cakewalks. We were doing Halloween parties together. We were spending the night over each other's homes. All of that. We've been to all weddings, softball games, everything. We've done it all together. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so that to me, that was so life-giving for me growing up. And I didn't realize, in all honesty, I didn't realize the gift that I had been given by growing up with my cousins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yes.
realize
Mhm.
how
Either,
important
Carlos.
that
Yeah.
that has been, and how it has actually shaped
Mhm.
my life, and how important family is to me
Yes.
because of the gift that I've been given
Yeah.
growing up
Yeah.
around my cousins
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just having those amazing experiences
We have
that are
fun.
marked,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they
Yeah.
are marked for
Yeah, yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can remember so many things that we did, good and bad.
Because we're not a perfect family.
No, we're not.
We straight dysfunction. But we love our dysfunction.
We do.
And we have fun with our
We have
dysfunction.
fun with our dysfunction,
Yeah.
right? We try
Yeah,
to correct
yeah.
people in their
Right.
dysfunction. We do
Yeah.
that.
We
But
do.
so, what
We
does
do.
it mean for you guys?
Man, for me, I love family more and more. And I know, like, during this time, this season, it's a lot of different dynamics people go through. And I think one of the parts of social media, they try to teach you to just be alone and just, be yourself or whatever, which I think that that's totally wrong, because God, who is very well versed, and
Yes.
he is a part of a community, that's who he is.
He's
His
relational.
community. Yeah, he's very relational.
Yes.
And so he wants us to come together because there's power in numbers. And so for me, I've learned that, you learn so much from family members, because you may not say, okay, I don't want to be like that, but I love her because you see value in each person.
You do. You really
And
do.
that's what you hold on. That's what I hold on to personally. I could hear somebody say, oh, she crazy, but I look for the value in that person. And I say, okay, they may be crazy, but I can still hang with them because the value that I see in them, or that's what I hold on to. And that's why I learn a lot from each of our family. So I love family. I love the fact that we have cousins and you have the opportunity to be with family. And you have some people that don't have family.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we welcome
Exactly.
people who don't have family, or they were the only child, or their parents are deceased. They can come around us and feel the love,
Yes.
because we just love family as
Right.
cousins. So,
Yeah.
They
that's
just
what
got to
family
be
means to me.
willing to accept the fact that we may talk about them.
Yeah.
But in a
That's
good
the
way.
We gonna
crack
That's the
jokes.
word. We
Yeah.
don't crack
That's
jokes.
what we get talking
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
And we
you
might
convince you,
snitch,
you
but we
better.
love you. We love you.
What about you, Michael?
Man, I just enjoy the fact that, laughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because,
Medicine.
man, you just don't get that a lot.
You
know. I know for me, I sent out a text a while back. It was just like, man, God just put something on my heart. Like, I just need to let my family know, man, that I love them. Like, I know we don't always get along. We don't always see each other.
Right.
But there's one thing I know for sure. Like tonight, we just sitting here at the table just laughing. Just having a good time. Hadn't seen each other in
How long? It's
man,
been a while.
Yeah.
It's been
it's
a
just like
minute.
when we
Yeah.
see each other, it's like
Well,
we've
we
been
left
around
out.
each
Yes.
other forever,
Yes.
And so I love the fact that I can now, those relationships I had in the past with my family, I put them in my family because it helped me do that with my family.
Wow.
Like, even though we may argue and fuss, I'm still gonna crack jokes with my kids. I'm
Yeah.
still gonna say stupid
That's
stuff to
right.
them because family is family.
It
Family
is.
comes first.
Yeah.
And so I've learned that, and just being around my family, man, I just enjoy it. And taking those shots too.
Yeah.
I've learned to take real shots.
Yeah. You can handle
But
it.
I can handle
I
it.
do.
When I went to the military,
Yeah, you
this
did.
ain't
You
nothing.
did. Thank you for your service.
Man,
I
I
appreciate that.
Them
Yeah.
drill sergeants be trying to get in on it. Man, you don't know my auntie. Like, you ain't saying nothing to me.
They sergeants.
Yeah.
They true
They
sergeants.
really are. I
Yeah.
remember when you sent that text out,
Yes.
and there was so much love that came
Yes,
back to
yes,
you
yes.
from that. And I think it's
Yeah.
just a sweet reminder of just how precious these relationships are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Don't
how
take them for
sacred they are.
granted.
Don't take them for
them,
granted
Yeah.
at all. Just with everything that's actually happening in the world at this point, family is what you can depend on.
Yes.
Family is where you can draw your strength from,
Exactly.
And I absolutely love that.
And you?
And for me, family has been, I don't live where 95% of my family lives at this point. but it's so important for me to stay connected.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
You
so,
do.
and I have a lot of friends and travel and all that, but my home base, my grounding, my foundation, my source of living and how I live is because of my family. It really
That's good,
is.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
absolutely, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, for
Yeah.
nothing in the world. So that's why it means so much to me.
That's
Right.
awesome.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have learned something today and just really enjoyed our conversation. We've got 3 podcasts here and we've come together for the first time. We would love to hear your comments.
Yes.
What did you think about some of the nuggets that and gems that were dropped by these people right here? It's
This
absolutely
right
amazing.
We ain't got no office. This bishop right here.
Come on.
Woo.
Come on. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your support. So Jess, as we close, last time, where can they find each one of you all? And then we'll close out.
The Island Connection, and since you said Facebook, YouTube and Facebook for me, The Island Connection.
Front Porch Conversation, and YouTube, the Michael Davis.
And then Power Couples Rock on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube.
Timeless
All
Tuesday.
Timeless Tuesdays. So you guys enjoy, have a wonderful holiday season.
Yes.
Enjoy your family. Don't take them for granted at all. We love you all. And again, thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Peace.